Okay. All right. We're back. Hold on. Bossy and I have taken a little hiatus, and Bossy and I just started talking, and we haven't talked in a few weeks, and so we're just catching up in real time. And um we'll talk podcast stuff later, but this is just a kind of a genuine conversation that Bossy and I were having, like, wait, are we recording, or are we just catching up? So that's what you're
Yeah.
hearing, audience. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay, go ahead,
Well
Bossy.
well, let me what wasn't recorded, but I'll say it again. It's like um I'm apologizing to Mike because I
Mm,
did drop off the face of the earth, drop off the face of the visible earth, I should say,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
where I just went radio silent on a lot of issues and on a lot of fronts. And I I kept I register that I'm out of touch, and so I try as best I can to be like, "Oh, no, no, I'm good," even when I'm not good,
mm.
because I know what the worry is, and I'm trying to, like, upend the worry,
Get in front of it.
um, get in front of the worry while still being like, low key, you should be worried," but, like, you know what I mean? Like
I was definitely worried, but
Yeah.
also on this end, trying not to show that I was too worried, because I
Mm,
thought that my potential worry might trigger you to worry, which might trigger you to, like, go to a place that wasn't helpful for you. So my casual, like, "Hey, are you okay?" was really like, "Yeah." In my mind, I'm like, "Oh my
yeah.
God." Like, I
Yeah, and
hope
see
Bossy is good. So
and the thing is, I know that about people. I
yeah.
know that about people, so I always try to get ahead of it and be like, "Oh, no, I'm good." And
Yeah.
then I can think and feel whatever it is I wanna feel outside of it. Like, I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I could sense when people are now they're getting to the point where they're about to, like, call people or or,
I
like,
w I had my
DM somebody.
listen, I had my finger on, like, how can I get in contact with her brothers? I was literally like, that was, if I didn't hear from you in the next, like, day or 2 when you text me, yeah, it was
Yeah.
about to be one of those.
Yeah, I
I was
wasn't
about
I
to be
wasn't talking to my family either.
mm,
Like, I wasn't talking to them either. I had
mm,
my phone I was on, do not disturb.
okay.
And usually when it's on do not disturb, they're like people who can like break through. Nobody was getting through. My brother came by and was like, and I gave them nothing. Like I was really not here. I
Mm,
was gone. I was down for the count. And I got a message Rod too. I wasn't talking to Rod. I talked to Rod every single day for like 10 years.
wow.
Wasn't didn't haven't spoken to Rod really either. Um,
Mm,
But what I was saying was that in the conversations we've had on the podcast, um, it's always felt very kind of like living in the past is the way that I would talk about like my existence and where it is that I am and what's
mm,
going on. And what I realized um in this random this is just last week this breakthrough happened too. Is that it wasn't living in the past. It was and this goes back to COVID, and I really, really I resent the fact that COVID had this much of an impact on me. Like, I
yeah.
resent it. Like, I really, really resent it, but what COVID did, what the quarantine did, what that period did was that it took my future from me,
Mm, mhm,
and I've never been like one of those people who plans ahead, like 5-year plan. That's not me, but I've always expected the next day is coming. I mean,
mhm,
allow yourself mourning has been my motto my entire life. Like just
yeah.
next day, something's gonna pop up, something's gonna happen. And that's always been the way that my life has worked out. Like I'm gonna move to New York. Bunch of shit worked out in my favor to make that happen.
Mm,
Last time I was in a depressive episode, I was like, I want to publish a book. That's the last thing I'm gonna do. It's gonna be my legacy. Did that.
mhm,
Book New York Times bestseller. Like
mhm,
I've always managed to be like, okay, well, there's a thing that's if I just tighten up on this area, this shit's gonna happen.
mm,
And for the first time in my life, that has not been happening the last couple of years. There's been no
Mm.
tightening up. Everything just sort of
Yeah.
like went away all at once. Like, the book was supposed to be the thing that saw me through the other thing. Then COVID happened, everything shuts down. I can't travel anymore. I can't do speaking engagements anymore. Um, I I'm not around people anymore. Even with me not being able to write recently, I am not around anybody. Like, part of my life and my work has been living, you know what I mean? Like, um, even when I was thinking about, like, when I lived in Brooklyn, and I was like, I didn't have, like, a 9 to 5. I had, like, a 9 to 5, like, it was a 10 to 2 or something, working for a entertainment.com. It
Mhm.
was just like, it was just, you're 20, it's party lifestyle, like, it's just that's what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
But I would get on the train and just go someplace. I had Discover Brooklyn Saturdays, and I'd just be, like, sitting in cafes and just doing nothing,
Yeah.
but living a life, and that living and being around other people and energy and all of that was what fueled my writing and what
Yep.
gave me the space to be creative. Um, and I sort of talked myself into being an introvert. And it's like, I'm an extrovert. I need some
A
time to
ambivert? Yeah.
ambivert. I need some
Uh-huh.
time to get it together, but I'm outside. I'm
Yeah.
around people. I'm never not choosing to not be seen or not be talked to or not to or staying in my bedroom. Like, just these are not the things that I if I'm really thinking about who it is that I am, I'm not that person. I'm not isolated, and I'm not shy. I'm not quiet. I can be, but that's usually transitional, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was like, when was the last time that I felt like I was outside? Like, I felt like myself. And it was when I haven't been on a plane in 3 years. Like, I haven't
Mm.
gone anywhere. I haven't been anywhere. I haven't been around people. And in 2023, when I was in Nigeria for the Lagos Poetry Festival, I felt like myself. Like, a bunch of weird shit happened when I was there, but I was like, I couldn't I mean, you know my heart. I couldn't move like 2 feet without somebody being like, "Oh my god, Bossy, can I talk to you about," like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was it was, it was I was constantly being reminded of who it is that I am,
Mhm.
and I didn't have the opportunity that I do now, that I have now,
Mhm.
to think about who I'm not, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So
Because there
so
was
a
there was so much you were doing.
There was yeah,
You were doing. Right.
I was
Right.
being reminded of, I was
Right.
being affirmed. I there was no the, the inner monologue, inner self-talk was just affirmations and, like, just positive.
Mm.
And I was
Yeah.
thinking about the way that I think about myself and talk to and about myself. And I was like, "Who is that talking?" Like who is that? Because
Yeah.
that's not what I sound if I really think that I don't sound like that. I don't talk to myself. I don't talk to people like that, like,
Yeah.
but that I was starting to, like, fall into that. And when I really, really had to sit and start, like, examining myself and thinking about all the things that I was trying to do, I'm trying to fit in, like, these, like, "Oh, well, the productivity model is to do all of this stuff," and
Yeah.
I'm trying to fit into the productivity model and failing at it because it's not who I am. It's not it's it's also me being resentful of the fact that I gotta trick myself into, like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
Into doing stuff? Yeah, yeah,
right,
yeah.
right. So I'm, like, defiantly against the voice in my head that doesn't sound like me, but is me. Like, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of factors at work. And when I really, again, last week, sat and really started thinking about what it is that was going wrong and going on, a
Mhm,
lot of it came to the fact that I have allowed doubt and self-doubt to enter in a way that never existed. I was
mhm.
frighteningly, delusional my entire life.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
delusional. Like, "What are you talking about? I can't." Yes, I can. As a matter of fact, I am, and I did, and now I keep going back to New York and Brooklyn because that was the biggest, like, "I
yeah,
live here now. I'll
mhm.
figure it out, but this is where I live now." You know what I mean? And I and
That's
that
the power of New York. That's the power of Brooklyn, though.
It's
Like,
the power of Brooklyn.
that's what it does. That's what
Yeah,
it does. That's why
yeah,
when people still, make fun of me, and I was born there. I left there when I was young, and still, like, that is kinda like the fuel, like, my go-to when I'm having, moments like that you talk about is like, "I'm from Brooklyn, damn it." Like, I gotta figure shit out, right? But
yeah.
go ahead, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, but, yeah, even with E, I have a lot of regrets about how I raised him
Mhm.
because I see the fear that I injected in him
Yeah.
when I should have been injected the fearlessness in
Mhm.
him, and I did all the fearless shit away from him
Mhm.
because I was like, "I gotta be a parent." So when I'm home, I'm,
Right.
laser like, even when we met, was it what was it, 2000?
Probably 6, 11, 12, 13 time frame.
So it was after I got back from Nigeria then.
Yeah, yeah. It
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
was
yeah. It was, because
12,
he was,
13.
like, 8.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
8.
yeah.
Yeah, the boys were like 8 or 9. Yeah.
Right. So when I got back and I even when I was in Nigeria, let me go back to that. I went in no plan. I did 2 magazine covers. I hosted a talk show. I was outside. I was out there doing what it is that I do.
Mhm.
It didn't work out exactly the way that I wanted it to, but I
Mhm.
also didn't know exactly what it is that I was looking for. So when I got home, I considered it a failure and
Mm.
locked in on parenting, locked in on being this person's mother. So even when you and I met or during that time, I was in I was you would never have caught me on camera in my glasses. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I
Mhm.
would not be in a hoodie and whatever, but I was sidelined that. I wasn't I don't even know how to I'm not even sure if I'm expressing the way that I'm expressing it, but I sort of fell into the thing that was supposed to be transitional. That became permanent.
Right, 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 right. And I'm wondering if at that time you needed the routine
I thought I
to
did.
you thought you did, right?
Mhm,
You thought you
mhm,
needed that, like, regularity that, like, alright, school, then soccer on Saturdays, and this and practice, you know what I'm saying? And
mhm,
it
mhm.
but it's so easy to get stuck there.
Yeah. And that's what I was getting to. I
Mm.
was there, but I would leave.
Mm,
I gotta go to this place this weekend, or I'm driving up here, or I'm taking the train up to this place, or I gotta
yeah.
fly to Dallas for this thing, or I gotta fly to LA for this thing, or I gotta,
Mhm.
I gotta, I could afford to be sideline soccer mom because I knew in 2 days I'm on a
Right.
flight somewhere.
Right, right,
I
right.
knew in
Mm,
a week I'm on the train to Brooklyn for some reason to see
right.
something. I'm in Chicago. Like I had that. But when COVID hit, all of that went away. There was no flight to here or train to there or there was no space for that transition to occur.
Mhm.
The transition became permanent.
Yeah.
And um slowly I started convincing myself that I was never the other person.
Uh,
And that's what's been happening
mm,
this entire time. And then also, I mean, I don't talk about dating and shit like that, but with this new, again, diagnoses, but like rumination OCD and all the stuff that I thought was me being like just like fucking crazy was the fact that I was thinking about things in a certain way and not the way that mm, that made sense to me as a person, only made sense to me at that time. And
mm,
everything became so immediate. Um, and I stopped being able to see a future. All the future shit that happened was around E. Because like my therapist, this what sparked it was like she asked me, "So what were you doing during that time?" And I couldn't think of a thing. I was like,
mhm.
I don't know what I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
then she was like, "Well, what was your son doing?" I was like, "Oh, well, yeah, so he because I'm at home and we live 5 minutes from school, he lived, it was okay for him to stay home, and then I realized that he wasn't doing well at home, so I called the school and asked if he could go and be part of the bubble because it was like I'm telling every fucking month from
Right.
2020 to 20 I'm like, you
Mhm,
know, but I could not remember anything, and then the session ended, and I was sitting here like, "What the fuck did I do?"
mm.
Nigga, why I forget to tell her and I forgot that I was working on the book adaptation of my or the TV adaptation of my book for a year.
Mm.
I forgot.
Wow, see? Mhm,
I
mhm,
forgot because it didn't pan out the way that it was supposed to pan out. It didn't lead to the things that I thought it was supposed to lead into. So to me, it became a failure and dumped into like another part of my life of my brain.
mm,
Um, all that to say, and I feel like I'm talking in circles, was the thing that has been the barrier to me was the inability to see what a future looked like. Um, where it fits into here specifically is I couldn't promote this podcast or talk
mhm,
about it because I couldn't see it. I couldn't see where what it was doing other than just, for lack of a better, like wasting time.
mhm,
I had to
mhm,
think like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why am I hesitant to invest in it the way that um that is owed to the
mhm,
podcast, to you
mhm,
as a
mm,
co-host, but owed to the podcast. And just in general, could not figure out what there were a couple of times when I was like, you should just go ahead and just take the idea of you just run it yourself. You can just not run it yourself, but like
mhm.
you take it and run with it.
Move
It's
forward.
yours
Yeah,
and move forward with it. Cause I don't see, I am unable to move forward. I'm
yeah,
unable to see that. And all of that again goes to the fact that what I thought was me, what I thought was my best days being behind me was the inverse, which is an inability to see the future in any capacity
mm,
at all.
and the
And
pa
I was a big visualizer. Like I visualized like how I could not see anything.
mm, mm. That's so that is that's powerful, and I'm wondering too, Basi, if you said your inability to see the future, and I'm wondering if it's because how you were processing the past changed or is changing or has changed already. You know what I mean? Like is that real to you? Like your past is and was like an indicator of like a potential of a future.
Mhm,
Like because I did this, that means I can do this again or I can at least build on this to go here. But if you're feeling that if you can't see a future and your past is not giving you what it did before to be like, okay, I could springboard off that and do this, I can do this now, then that can lead into like a hopelessness or a
mhm,
a hopeless spiral, the rumination that you talk about, like what the fuck, like what, like I mean, it makes sense. Like you could follow, you could connect the dots, and a couple things from what you were saying. At least three of our listeners, like, hit me up on the side. I was like, I could see something was gonna happen. Like they could hear it. You know what I'm saying? And I heard it, but it's kind of like, Bossy's
Wait,
always
heard what?
heard that you were gonna take a hiatus, or that
Oh,
you were
okay.
gonna need some time away, or that there was like you were moving towards something like a separation.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, and I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, we're always going through something. Like that's kind of like become a theme of the podcast is, how are we building future, how are we moving forward, and so that's one thing I thought was in. The second thing, right, is I've on Riverside right now, I have 3 episodes that I've recorded since I hadn't heard from you. And I did the Jay-Z. The Jay-Z one was the last one I did. Like when I actually talked about going to the 3 shows, like going
Mhm,
to, and then I got on the next week and recorded, and then each time something would happen. Like just something would happen. I like it was either one time I was like, I don't like that. I'm gonna record again. Then I ran out of time. The next time I was recording for 45 minutes, went to upload, no video. I was like, what the fuck? Like, and then literally that was when did you text me this time and say that you want to record?
yesterday.
Was that yesterday? I
Mhm.
recorded an episode yesterday. I recorded a solo episode yesterday, and I was going to was going to release it today, and then you called. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So it's just like the timing of that is just crazy. Like
yeah,
I didn't record it just because I ran out of time, and I was like, oh, look, Bossy call. So I mean, I've been thinking a lot about it too, and I was thinking a lot about like if Bossy doesn't want to come back, and I'm not saying that you do want to come back, and that we're going to continue and just pick right up and move on. Like I don't think that that's might not be the what you need, what either of us need. And also, I'm thinking like, okay, what is this? Like, what is this podcast? Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? And we've had a lot of people. We've had a handful of people that has shared with us how much this podcast means to them. They relate to it. It validates them on so many different levels. And I was like, okay, is that enough? Like, even if we have, I think solid every week we have 300 to 400 listeners across different platforms, right? And I'm thinking like, no, that's not a lot. These people get millions of views. We had 300 to 400, but I'm like, if we had an auditorium and 300 or 400 people showed up every week to hear us speak, that's a considerable amount of people.
mhm,
And I know, and I still believe that based on who we are, what we talk about, the extent and the detail that we go on, I do think our content is really, really strong. And I don't think we're, one of those plug and play type, oh, we're just gonna talk about the shit and come in and have beef and then come, you know what I'm saying? Like I really do feel we have something genuine. So I was thinking like, okay, do I want to continue the idea of, I had the idea of manhood. Do I want to go back to that? Do I want to, make it a guest driven show? Do I want to call people in? I'm like, I don't know. But especially the last few months, maybe, I feel like we both talked about like, dang, it's Tuesday already? Like we just finished recording. Like everything was feeling like so, like the timeline of the week just got so crazy.
yeah.
Um, but even when I was like, I gotta record, it was never like about you. It was just like, oh, the process, like sitting down.
No, I understand.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But after every time we would record, 9.5 out of 10 times, I felt better.
mhm,
And so I was like, if I feel better, and if sometimes Bossy feels better after we record, then that is the impact we want to have on our listeners. We just want them to feel better.
yeah,
And that's really enough. And I feel like for me, I should say, that's enough for me to continue talking and talking out our challenges, talking about stuff like this, talking about, the challenges of raising boys and men and, being whatever generation we're in, Zennials or Gen Xers or whatever, and trying to put it together because ultimately, this was my conclusion. What you are going through right now, I think it is what everybody our age is going through. I genuinely do. I just feel that some people feel, express, and process it more intensely. Um, and I feel like for so many of us in our generation, for so many of us in this phase of life, the mid the 40s and 50s, there's so many of us that that are not being spoken to in any arena. Like the
Mhm.
music doesn't speak to us, the culture doesn't speak to us, the fashion, the black love, the black art, like they're not speaking to this 10-year range of folks, and like we're one of those people that I think do it really well. Um, but I don't know, man. I hear you, and a lot of the things that you talked about feeling, like I said, so many of us feel it. I don't feel it as intensely until you talk about it. I'm like, "Damn, like, I feel that shit
Oh,
too."
great.
But, like, not to a point where it's gonna, where I feel like I'm gonna disengage or I'm gonna, where I have to, walk away from certain things, but I it shines a light on, like, damn, there are the years ahead of us are very different than the years behind us.
Mhm,
I can't say there's more or less, or, there's better years or worse years, but I am actively, right now, in a phase where I am speaking intention to this next phase of my life. I'm trying to be intentional
mhm,
about whatever happens next, and I'm trying to adjust my expectations so that it's not good or bad, right? So that I can deal with whatever this next phase of life is. So you know, if it's not the way I see it, that's fine. If it if it goes abundantly amazing, that's fine. If it's not, and from all sides, I can appreciate it for what it is. What would be a failure for me though is to not have intentionality behind it.
mhm, mhm,
That would be, for to just come across life like, oh, I'm just walking down the street and I meet, whoever. I would love to have some intention behind this next phase of my life. And I think we still have enough youth, enough energy. I feel like we both have enough like physical health, like
mhm.
stamina in our bodies to grind and to, not grind like we did when we were in our 20s and 30s, but a smarter, more sophisticated kind of like putting, what they say, truth to power and like being intentional about what those next steps are. And personally, I'm still self-defining that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that, because I've never had to grind. Do you know what I
Mhm,
mean? Like,
mhm, mhm,
not even the sense that things have been, like, easy, but just, like, it's never felt like I I I I I think that intentionality is really important,
mhm,
way to put it, because I think I've always conflated, um, or confused? Intentionality and grind. Like, I don't
mm,
grind, like, it's not hard for me.
right.
Like, life, writing, work, like, it's just people are like, "Oh my god, it's so hard to do this." It's like, "It's never been hard for me to do that."
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
just did it. Like,
And
it I
some people find comfort in the grind.
Exactly.
or at least they find comfort in people thinking that they're grinding. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly the whole, "I
Yeah.
don't sleep. I like, I
Sleep when I'm dead,
sleep
son.
when I'm like, I don't
Yeah, yeah, like,
I
don't.
don't I
I
I
need
don't
to sleep.
subscribe to that, and that's the
Yeah.
thing though with I think that intentionality is a really, really great way to put it because one of the things that happened during this time was I woke up and had nowhere to go, nowhere to be, no one who expected me to be there, nothing that
Mm,
was being expected of
yeah,
me, and
yeah.
I didn't know what I expected of myself.
Mm,
So, I mean, this is I've never been so broke in my entire life. Like,
mm,
I was on Teen Summit when I was in high school. It was a
mm.
couple $100s, but it was a couple $100s. You
Right,
know what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
Um, and even when I mean, I'm irresponsible, I'm not even gonna hold you. So even if I'm like, bank account is dwindling, I need to
Uh-huh.
do something about that, something would happen.
Mhm.
I I knew that, which for better or for worse, I knew that. So when it came time to hustle and grind and blah blah blah, I had no idea what that means. What does
Mm.
that mean to me? Do I work at
Yeah,
Target now? Like what does that mean to me? And
yeah.
then and I feel like you can feel this too. Well, I hope you can, but I would also and it's not envy and it's not jealousy. It is,
Oh, yeah,
"Nigga, I
yeah.
can do that." You know?
Oh,
Like,
I feel that at least 3, 4 times a day.
yeah, like, I'm on
Yeah.
TikTok. This is something that's happened, and my sister actually sent me something that made me like, "Look, I'm not crazy." Back in the
Mhm,
early days of Twitter and Tumblr, people used to take my tweets
mhm.
and write them into scripts,
Yeah.
or, like, there's a joke, there's the Jim Jones joke that's been everywhere. Um, do you know the Jim Jones tweet that I
What did you make I don't know the
mhm.
Jim Jones joke.
It was
Uh-uh.
Jim Jones looks like he goes and gets his hair braided, and then he's like, "Okay, now brush it."
Okay, you've told me that before.
That joke's been out there. My sister just sent me a screenshot of a book she's reading with that joke in it. Um,
Wow.
there are jokes about I don't wanna, what's the other one? I don't want to, I'm not a ride or die. I need to know where we're going, like, da. That's been in scripts, word for word. I can't remember it now, but bar for
Mm.
bar. There's a Tumblr post that I did 20 years ago that still gets circulated under anonymous, and it's like, this is me. I wrote that. These I mean, I'm not trying to
Wow.
be I'm not trying to be, narcissistic when I these are facts. Do you know what I mean? These are facts. They're and then
Yeah,
there are times
yeah,
when somebody is like they're like
yeah.
conversations that are happening now on TikTok where I was like, "I said that. I didn't say it out loud, so they didn't steal it from
Be
me, but I didn't
right.
say it."
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going through
yeah. Mhm. Oh, yeah.
my messages. I'm like, I said the exact same thing, but I didn't say it. Somebody else got online and said it. Somebody else
Yeah,
took the
yeah.
time, you
Yep.
know, during COVID to sit and talk about their opinions. And now they've got 15.2 million
Yeah.
followers.
And
Um,
they had a nice light, they had a nice studio light, and they had,
mhm,
like, a green screen, and they
mhm,
had, like, whatever to make it look nice, and now they're, you know, influencers
yeah,
in the space. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Every day I open my Instagram, like, I was I almost know this for a fact, but I promise you, 10 years ago, no one gave a fuck about black fathers. Not not one person. No one cared
Just me and black mental health.
about black male mental health. Like no one cared um about men's role and responsibility when it comes to violence and when it comes to sexual assault and when it comes to being in relationships um and now that's everything now. Like that is literally every time I open. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely feel that like we
I was
can
the
do this. Like
first
we've been
person, and
talking
I
about
can
this.
say
Oh,
this
one thing I was gonna say.
internally.
Oh,
Oh,
go.
what? Go ahead.
I think we have a delay. I don't know
Oh,
how we got
okay.
a delay. But no, one thing I was gonna say was when we talking about intentionality, right? And we're talking about when we're talking about the things that we well, specifically, you said that there were things that you did before where you didn't have to grind, where you just did it, right? Like you just did shit, and other people perceived it as grinding, but it was so natural to you, it didn't feel like grinding. I feel like that might be what we, the collective we, have to work on as we get older. That's what age does to the things that we used to do naturally. We just have to work harder at it. And we might have to call it something else, right?
Mhm,
I think about in my 20s, and this is not really true, but this is like a universal thing. Like you can get up in your 20s and run 3 miles easily, come back, work a full day, not even think about it, and go drink that night, party that night, get up, throw up, go and run it again. Like no issue. Right now, I can get up and go run 3 miles right now, but it's gonna feel a lot different afterwards. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? I might have to stretch a little bit more before. I might have to take a certain kind of, pre-workout drink and post-workout drink to replenish my electrolytes. I'm not going to be able to go and get drunk and have a party that night. But I can do the thing. Like
mhm,
that, whatever that thing is, I can do it. But the prep for that thing, the post for that thing, the follow up for that thing, that's to me is where the intentionality comes in. And
mhm,
so that's why I feel like when it comes to whatever we're going to do creatively, I think that that is what we have to what we have to do. We have to think about, all right, what do we have to do before? What is the actual thing? How are we going to follow up on this? And can I do it again? Like, can we continue to replicate whatever it is that we're trying to do? But yeah,
mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I think,
You know,
I think that, even with what you were just saying about being ahead of the curve, which I own fully. Like, there was a lot of things I was the first Black person openly speaking about mental health. I was. This is I had a
facts.
blog in
That's a fact. Yeah.
in 2000. 2000. It was before it was called a blog. It was an online diary or online
Yeah.
journal. And I was
Hmm.
on that, bossyworld.com. And then I let the thing lapse and I lost it. But I was doing that, and I was ahead of the curve. I was never comparing myself. I would, like, compare and, like, "What is she doing?" or "What is he doing?" But I wasn't like, why aren't I doing that? How come I'm not there?" I would ahead of the curve and not knowing that there was one. There was a curve, like, just there.
Hmm.
And then now, very aware of the curve, like, just highly aware of it. And I think that what you're saying about intentionality is very, very important, um, because I think that in the past, I didn't know that I was being intentional, you know? It wasn't a
Right.
conscious
Yeah.
thing.
It was
I was
natural.
being
Yeah.
intentional very
Yeah.
clearly, yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
very clearly. I knew, just to go back to the writing things, this is what jumped out the most at me was I knew that in order for me to write and the kind of writing that I did, I needed to be in the world. I couldn't just be in a room with a desk and sitting at the desk and hoping things happen. That's never been how I've been able to write or the
For
kind of
sure.
writing that I do. So I was intentional about going outside, but but the intentional part of it, I didn't relate to the writing or the creativity, but it was an
Right.
intentional thing to do. And I think that that's the intentional, to what degree? Like, what am I intending to be, to do and process and grow and gain
Mhm.
from it? That's the part that I'm still, um I think that, what happens to a dream deferred? But
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things, and I don't want to like go through an entire list. But I seeing now just how interconnected so many of these things that have been lacking, and how much has been missing, and how, and again, how interconnected they were without my knowing it. So if one thing gets erased or
Mhm.
neglected or disappears, the whole thing collapses.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it just took me a little bit too late to get there, and I don't know what, I'm still figuring it out. Like I said, it's been less than a week. It was last Friday. Um, and I don't know what it all means, but getting closer to understanding how and why and where I am is helping
Mhm.
that, a lot more, because I do think that this is an important podcast, and I do think that it's important in the ways that we just discussed about the things that we are, I mean, that's our tagline, uniquely qualified to speak on. But I want to be, here it is. I don't want to come on here every week to talk about something that I saw online
Yeah.
or the topic
Agreed.
du jour. I
Oh,
don't
for
want to do
sure.
that.
No,
But
no,
I
no, no.
I personally at
Yeah.
this moment have nothing else because I don't do anything else.
Mm.
I you know that's I think that's the little part. Like,
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me, and I kinda noticed. Ooh, see, I'm glad you said that, because I kinda noticed our last series of episodes, like, maybe the last, like, 7 or 8 episodes were a lot of reactionary shit, like, just, things that were happening online, we talk about things, and I peeped it, but I was like, "It it's important." But
mhm,
then look how it all ties to fuck together. I don't know if you've been listening to our boy, Deontay, recently, but he's been talking a lot about the cycle of, like, Black media and, like, and Black people, and how, ignore that we need to ignore the noise, and then, like, something real happens, and then a celebrity ODs, and then everyone talks about celebrity. You forgot about the fact that Israel is under, whatever, and then this happens, and then so it's like this cycle, and he's been telling people, like Black people, like, we gotta do this and this, and I was like, nigga, Bossy and I were talking about this a year and a half ago. Like, that was like our entire thing, was like, how do, as we get older, we disengage from this, like, cycle of being reactionary, and what that means in a larger scale. It's like so many things just in the last couple weeks that we haven't been recording. I'm like, that's what that's what we was talking about. Like, we've been talking about that. Even with the shit, like, even the situation with Nolan Wells.
I was just thinking that.
We've been
I
talking
literally was about
about
to say
that
that.
for a year and a half. We've
Mhm.
been talking about the challenges of raising boys that are in the world, that are with
Nigga,
white people, that
the conversation that popped up over the World Cup about black soccer,
nigga,
and
all of
we
it.
yeah.
All the conversation, and this was the episode I recorded that I didn't post, but the conversation about do-rags and bonnet and Tuskegee, and, like, what it all means, and all this shit. So, I'm saying all that to say, right? I think that a way forward for both of us because I think we're experiencing the same thing in different extremes, like at different, different points in this line of, uncertainty. And what helps me on a minus on a smaller basis when I'm feeling stuck, and it sounds simple, right? Like I'm gonna say you're gonna be like, duh. But like having something that we can check mark off to say like we did that.
Mhm.
Even if it's like post a clip on our individual social medias directing it back to we are the idea whatever, right. But I think to do that, that's where the intentionality comes in, because I think if you and I had all the intelligence that we have now and the lived experiences we have now, and we did this podcast when we were 30, right, we would have a talk like we would be on HBO, like we would be like we would be on the Breakfast Club
Yeah,
or have that kind of platform. And
yeah.
so now that we're older, we're a little bit more stuck in our ways. We're also trying to navigate this new way that technology moves and figuring out algorithms and what the fuck. Because in my heart, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, just post it, and what it does, it does.
Mhm.
But in order for us to see a future and not just related to the podcast, not just related to, smaller things, but I think the intentionality behind it for us now at the age we are both approaching is to
Age I already am, I had my birthday.
oh
My birthday
wait,
is
when?
my birthday was August 3rd.
What the fuck?
What do you think this
Yeah.
existential
Oh
crisis?
my god. If I That's why
My
we
birthday was
here.
August
Oh my.
3rd.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Bossy. Wait, hold up. Is it not on my calendar? I could have sworn I put it on my
I might have hacked into your shit and erased it.
Yo, happy birthday, Bossy. Put on my
My birthday was
calendar
August
right
3rd.
now. Happy birthday, Bossy.
I'm not saying thank you.
That's what this is all for. This is so important, Bossy. Like for real. I'm dead serious. Like you are manifesting in real time what so many people, young and old, experience as they move towards a milestone something. It might not necessarily be age. It might be, think of all the college kids right now that are thinking like, damn, what am I going to do when I graduate? Like, what does that even mean? So that's a milestone for them. You know what I'm saying? So, oh man, happy belated birthday. But I cannot believe I missed that. Oh, snap. I can't
How's it
even ask.
going?
I can't even ask how you're feeling because I know. Or
I mean, I'm feeling nothing. I don't feel
yeah.
anything. I
Mm,
don't feel anything. And again, that goes back. I am a big feelings bitch. Like I feel shit. And so to feel nothing or to actively
mm,
actively move towards nothing is what uh scared me.
mm.
It frightened me it frightened me. But even saying that it frightened me, it wasn't even a big feeling. It's just like that's not good. Like just,
Right.
you know, um
Damn.
um even like I literally used to have a birthday party every year called Stravaganza.
I remember you talking about that.
I used to love life. That's how I
Oh,
knew when I was depressed. That's when I was like, "Oh, okay, doctors and medicine," because I love this shit. Like, I love alive.
mm,
I love my life. I've never not liked my life, and I've always and again, going back to anytime I was like, "I don't like it here," I was like, "Something's happening that's gonna change it, so might as well just keep going." That's the
right.
way that I've always been, and I've gotten slower as I've gotten older as far as that sentiment goes, but
Yeah.
for it to be completely gone okay. What started this was a month before my birthday,
Uh,
'cause I'd been going, I was like, "I don't wanna celebrate it, I don't I know it's a big deal, but I don't da da da." I'm nowhere near where I would want to be. There are things that I would want to do for that milestone birthday that I literally cannot do unless I, like, I start a GoFundMe, which I would never do, right?
mhm, mhm,
And then I was like, "Okay, well, it's kind of a big deal, so maybe you should do X." I could not think of a single person that I could invite to, like, a dinner
mm,
that wouldn't have to travel from a bunch of different places, and then even then, I don't know because I haven't been in the world. I haven't spoken to a lot of people that much, and that started, like, part of the spiral. I don't feel friendless, but I don't feel like I have any friends,
mhm, mhm,
you know?
mm, mhm,
Um, and so when I started thinking it like that, my brain was like, "Oh, and then and guess what else? Guess what else happened or didn't happen?" And then that's what started like the like a month in advance. So when the day came, I messaged my siblings. I was like, "Do not throw me a party. Do not get me a gift. I don't even want to hear it barely." So I just got like
mm,
the happy birthday text. And there are people who texted me that I haven't responded to that I'm going to respond to because I have to. That's
mm,
on my list of things I need to do this week to
mm.
like get back into my life. Um, but I forgot what why I started telling you this.
You
Mm.
were huh. You were just talking
Milestone
about
birthdays,
yeah, about
wanting to yeah, just wanting to care more
mhm,
and not wanting to turn into, like, the people that I see, again, online. There's I don't know if you've seen it, but, like, an influx of people who are like, I'm 72 years old, and I've never been married, I have no kids, and this are the things that I've learned." Are you joking?
right,
What,
right,
me?
right,
I don't ever wanna come on I don't want okay, here it is. I don't want my legacy in life to be misery.
right.
Have you seen like, I've seen,
Mhm, I
again,
have,
online
yeah,
people who are like, I just came to talk about the time when" I don't
yeah,
ever,
yeah,
ever,
yeah, I have seen that, I have seen that.
never in my life would I wanna be that person.
But
And I'm slowly creating a world where I am that person, and I
listen to
hate
this,
that for
Bossy.
me.
This see, this is why everything happens. I hate when people say everything happens for a reason, but, like, the timing is just too much to ignore,
Yeah,
right?
believe it.
So I so I love an analogy because I really do think, like, the world operates like I can't even explain it. But, like, the way that the world operates, there's just too many connections in the ways that, like, our physical body operates,
Mhm,
our mental health operates,
mhm,
our emotional connections to people operate, right? So I just off the cuff, I was just freestyling you and I was talking about, like, getting up and running a mile. You know, getting up and running 3 miles, and when you're younger, you could do it. When you're older, it takes more work, right? And then I thought about, like, what happens to a muscle when you don't use it, right?
mhm.
It's atrophy. Is that the word? Like
Yeah,
atrophy,
yeah.
right?
I can see, yeah, withers
You
away.
you physically wither away if you don't use this muscle.
Mhm,
And I wonder for people, for us, for you, for us, for people our age, like the crux of this challenge of getting older is transforming the things that we used to do easily in our 20s and 30s. How do we continue to do those things that we love, that bring us joy, that actually bring us life, right? Because that's what joy is. Joy is more life, right?
mm,
Physically, metaphorically, all the things. How do we do those things that bring us more life as we get older, that we know work worked for us, and there is a motivational atrophy because we don't. As we get older, we don't tap into those things because when we were younger, we just did them. We
Mhm.
did the shit that brought us joy because it was easy to roll out of bed and walk through Brooklyn and find a block party, find a happy hour. But it was easy when I was in DC. After work, we going to Dream. We're gonna get free chicken wings. I'm gonna get free drinks, and I'm gonna be drunk and full at 7 p.m. And then we're gonna start the night. And it just happened so naturally. But as you get older, like you have to actively do that.
Mhm.
And there is no that I can think of. There are no instructions for how to actually do that. How to actually like work those muscles that used to be so naturally motivational. Like,
And something too that I've been wrestling with is I never had to think about what brought me joy.
yeah, it was just joy everywhere.
It was just joyful. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So
Ex-
so the instructions now or
yes.
the coaching now is find what brings you joy or think about the things that bring you joy. I don't know what brings me joy. Should just be joyful. And so now when I have to think about it and like to do
Right.
the things that
Then
bring
it,
me joy, I
yeah.
don't know what that means
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not buying shit because
Right.
it's not joy, but the buying shit was either a reward for some joyful shit that happened
Mhm.
or the first step towards the
N
next joyful thing.
Another joyful shit
No,
happening.
yeah,
Right,
but like
right,
what is
right.
I could not figure out what is the actual joy. It's
Yeah,
not writing.
yeah,
Writing doesn't make me happy.
uh-huh.
I'd be happy as shit when I'm writing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like trying to like
Right. So
reverse
tapping into
engineer
that,
these
like,
things.
no, for real, like literally reverse engineering, like where that joy comes from.
Mhm.
And I know for me, it's the exchange.
Mm.
It's the exchange, like, it's the this. Wherever the this is happening, it could be online, it could be in person, it could be while I'm writing, it could be while I'm watching my kid play sports, it could be so many different things, but it's the exchange because for me, that's where the joy is for me. It
Mm.
doesn't even matter the outcome of those things. It doesn't matter if those things turn into something else, but it's the exchange. So that's why for people like you, for people like me, the isolation is kryptonite. It is
It's the
literally
ice. Yeah.
killing us
Yeah.
because there's
Yeah.
no wherever the joy is,
Yeah.
there's no exchange because we be alone in the room. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah,
don't, you know what I'm saying?
you be like, a friend of mine, messaged me maybe 2 months ago with photos of, like, me doing Janet
Right.
Jackson at
Yeah.
karaoke. Can I sing? No, I can't. But can I do choreography? The fuck yeah, I can do choreography. Do you think that I right now, if you said, "Hey, let's go to karaoke," do you think that I would get on stage right now?
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
No, I wouldn't get on
No, I mean,
stage.
no, yes, I know you would not.
Yeah,
Right,
I
right.
wouldn't get on
Right,
stage.
right.
But
Yeah.
and it would be like, "Oh, no, no, I'm just no, I'm not. I'd be on stage. I did the whole if routine in
I'd
front of
be
Legos.
on stage. Nigga,
I'd be on stage."
we used to take like we used to, you know how like they've been talking on the news about teen takeovers
Mhm.
and how all the kids just bum rush the area. That's how we used to do with karaoke. It used to be 20 niggas like
Yeah,
ski masked up, hoodies on, and we would go into the whitest karaoke and take that shit over and make it
yeah,
like Showtime at the Apollo.
yeah,
That's how we used to do.
yeah.
Those are the things that bring me joy. Is it about karaoke? Yeah, it is. But it was really about the
It's about
coming together
the
and
energy that that I knew that I provided to a space.
man, all day, all
I
day.
knew that. I knew that. I knew that. I knew my friends knew that if Bossy has an idea or Bossy doesn't want to do this, but she did it because you wanted to do it, and now it's her shit. Like she did
Right.
it. Like I am not a fucking meek, shy, little
yeah,
well, I mean, I am a nerd, but, like, not in, like, the you know what I'm saying? Like, not in
yeah,
the way that I've convinced myself that I am an introvert.
yeah.
Who?
Where
"Oh, no, no, I
right.
just like being by myself. I'm fine."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
No. I mean, I am, but no.
yeah.
Where
That's
is
what
yeah.
it
It's yeah.
it sounds so simple, but it's like we really have to, and I'm saying we because I don't want this is when I was thinking about talking to you today, I didn't wanna be like I I was actively like, I am not going to tie whatever I'm feeling through the extreme of what Bossy is feeling because it felt like it was gonna be extreme. I'm like, "Oh, me too. I'm sad too." Like, no, I'm not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
that's not
yeah, yeah.
but I do think that, like I shared earlier, like, what we're both feeling is on the same line.
Mhm.
You might be over here, I might be more in the middle,
I
but,
just
like
feel shit really hard. Like,
yeah,
that's just it. I feel really hard, but I understand
I think the continuum is the
the
same,
line. Yeah, I do
and
understand that.
I think that to if the goal is to move towards not like our old selves, but like redefining what our new self is. And this sounds so like frou-frou, online psychology. But I think a reality is that in order for us to return back to or to redefine whatever this new thing is that's going to actually give us life, like, we have to be uncomfortable. Like,
Mhm.
we have to
Yeah,
go out. We have to,
yeah.
you know
Discomfort was part of the co was part of it.
Right.
We just
But we
it just
just
was, yeah.
and we were just able to work through that shit when we were 20 and 30.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, we went into, spaces as karaoke mob. It was a little uncomfortable, but fuck, like, we here now, like, we're gonna do
Yeah,
it. So
yeah,
whatever it was, and I think that, like, here recently in the last, like, maybe 6 to 8 months, I've had a few, like, speaking gigs and hosting gigs, and the joy I feel when I'm in front of people, I'm like, "Yo, I'm that nigga because I
yeah,
could do this. Like,
yeah,
I could do it in
yeah,
a way that I know for a fact nobody can do it." And what happens, and I know this happened with you too, Bossy, is that people will see you do something, and you do it so well and so what it appears to be easy, and I think this is the same thing what we were talking about, right? Like, we weren't trying to find joy, we were just doing shit, and then we were good at it, and then people would see you do it and then think they could do it because you made it look so easy.
yeah.
So I could be a deaf poet because Bossy's a deaf poet. She just be going out there doing crazy shit. But like we were so good at these things, and I think this is a thing with creative people. You get to a point where you stop doing it.
Mhm.
Because it's like, oh, that was my 20s and 30s. Like I'm past that now. No, I feel like we have to
For me, it became work.
keep performing, keep do like finding whatever is giving you that feeling and whatever is providing you with that joy or that whatever it is, whatever that feeling is. And I know for me, you know, when I'm on a stage, when I am facilitating a conversation, even if it's with 10 teachers, or even if I'm coaching one person, I know that I can connect with you, them, big group, small group better than most people.
Mhm.
And I spent years in COVID, solo, not able to do that. And that's what I want for us. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be done in this podcast or on this platform or with this forum. But I do think that as I'm thinking about my big, transition, big transition, like I'm about to die. But when I turn 50, um, that is what is helping me move towards that date with a little bit of hope and a little bit
Yeah.
of like, no, I'm going to do this. Since we stopped talking, Bossy, not stop talking because people are like, oh, Bossy might beef. But since we haven't recorded, I've trademarked my new book title. I made my new book title into an LLC,
Congratulations.
and I've been writing. Like, that's what has been giving me a little bit of joy right now. But that I had to, you know how hard I had to work on that? Two really simple things, right? Like,
Yeah,
just get a trade LLC, like sign up online. But I had to be so intentional about doing it because otherwise it just wouldn't have been done. Everything else would have
yeah,
been more important,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
You know what else? Actually, just the whole being on. I used to love being on stage. I somehow convinced myself that I hated it, and I just did it. But like I did really enjoy that feeling. But another thing that really was um the trigger for a lot of this was ice passing, black ice.
Oh, yeah, and we
Yeah,
never talked about that.
yeah,
We
him.
text about it, but we never talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that hit me a lot harder
Mm,
than I realized and recognized for a number of reasons that I don't need to get into.
mhm,
But that's somebody like, I mean, people we know are passing away.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, they're passing away in a way that, yes, it is too young, but it's not the same kind of too young it would be if we were 20 something.
Right, right, right.
You know, like, it makes sense as we get older that this is happening.
Yeah.
Um, but it just makes things a bit more, immediate, I
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah.
possible in a way that I don't want possible to exist. This is not the
Mhm.
possible this is not the anything's possible shit that I that
Right,
I was talking about. Like, this is
right.
like, let's
Like,
just be
death is not on that list that I wanna
exactly, like,
really
that's
yeah.
not what I was
Mhm.
talking about. Anything's
Right.
possible with that.
Yeah, yeah.
But shit like that, you know? And I think that, and another just going back to what we've been talking about, something else that's been debilitating is that whenever I get to that, like I'm about to, and then I do it, it's like, you know what life would be like if you did this 10 years ago?
Mm.
You know what life would have been like if you did this 30 years ago? Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it stops me in my tracks. And so that's what when I
Mm.
was talking about,
That's deep.
why am I talking to myself like this?
Yeah.
That's part of it too. And that's I don't know. But yeah, all everything you said, yes.
All the things, all the
All
things.
of the things,
But I
yes.
see, I mean, I here's another thing as I was preparing to talk with you today, I was like, I am not going to try to convince Bossy to keep doing the podcast if she doesn't wanna do it, right?
Mm,
Like, I'm gonna read the room and I'm gonna like, "Yo, if we need" No, not falling into that, Bossy. We need this podcast.
yeah.
Like, straight like, I'm not fucking playing.
No, I hear you, I hear you.
Like, not for clicks, not for fame, not for none of that shit. I really genuinely think that for your mental health and future, for my mental health and future, to demonstrate how people can talk to one another and give life in real time, how people can disagree without being disagreeable, how they can agree and support each other and like all of that shit I feel is on full display in our show. And I don't think it's time for it to end yet.
Well, okay, so here so li I
You know what I'm
don't
saying?
think this I'm not I was supposed to, but I didn't. I was supposed to I had this clock Imma show it to you in a minute.
Mhm.
I was supposed to, like, brainstorm, like, give myself, like, 10 minutes to, like, really, like, sketch out what it is I wanted to talk about, and then I got caught up doing other things. Um, 10 o'clock happened really quickly, even though I was up at 7. Um, it's not about ending it.
Yeah.
That was never it. It's about what you were talking about, intentionality. I don't want to do this because it's Tuesday and I have to do this.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah.
I don't want to get up here and just be like, "What are we talking about today?" I mean, we do that, and I think that's cool. I think we're great at that. Like, we're
Right.
very good at that. But I think that in order for it to be what it is, what it should be, what it could be, what it deserves to be, what is possible, I have to get Bossy back.
Yeah.
I have to be that person first. And I'm again, not about ending it, not about this is over, it's not a wrap, not that at all. I just want to be better at fill in the blank.
Yeah, yeah, no, I feel that,
You
I feel
know,
that.
like
Mhm.
I want to contribute. I
Yeah.
want to be an active participant. I don't
Yeah.
want this, here it is. I don't want this to be another passive thing that I do just to get through the days.
Mm. Mhm.
And a lot of the things in my life are that now. And I want to be an active participant
Yeah.
in it. And
Yeah.
and that goes with, again, for me,
Mm.
learning how to live and be a living person,
Yeah.
not
Well,
just a girl.
Bossy, I got your back. I'm your number one fan, number one supporter. Uh, like Bossy world, but also like Bossy the person. You know what I'm saying? And um, I think whatever all of our religious beliefs are, I do think God puts people in your life at different times for different reasons,
Mm,
and I don't think it's a coincidence that we reconnected on the random as we're both approaching 50, as we're both having these existential issues, trying to figure out what life means. It's not coincidence. And we said, remember, Bossy, we said we're going to do this for a year and we're going to get our content up. We're going to figure out what's what, and then we're going to decide what's next. And I think that
mm,
what's next is right now. Like this is the fork in the road, the intersection, whatever you want to say, that we have to define, not about the show, but like just about us individually.
mm.
And I think maybe offline,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Like offline this week, sometime we talk about, just like a recalibration. Like
Mhm,
what will make this more rewarding? Is it applying more intentionality to our topics? Is it applying a different recording timeline? Is it every 2 weeks instead of every week? Is it shorter episodes, long, whatever, right? And how do we input, or not input, how do we inject that intentionality in that we both need in our real lives
mm,
to what we are producing here?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because I think that would be immensely helpful for me. Not outside of the show, just as a person, as a man, as a,
yeah,
um,
me too.
yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, just be very, very clear. This was not a, like, "I'm coming to you as a woman." It's not that. I wasn't trying to, like,
Right. No,
yeah,
yeah. I
it
didn't
was
think
not
that.
it was, yeah, it was not that at all. I also didn't even wanna, to come to any hard, um, decisions,
Yeah.
like concrete decisions.
Yeah.
Um, Again, because I needed to be able to trust my mind that this is what I mean when I say it, as opposed to, "Oh, yes." Uh, I do think this is very important. I think that this conversation has reemphasized to me how important it is, because we're not the only ones having these conversations
Or not. Yeah.
within ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, I think that that's part of, like, the where we can discuss, like, the growth of this.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just didn't want it to be 3 months of nothing,
Yeah.
without trying to, on a small scale, articulate just what's been going on and where my mind is, and just trying to fix it. I'm still depressed. I'm not gonna lie to you. Still
Yeah.
depressed,
Mhm. Mhm.
but not as hopeless.
Mhm.
And it was the hopelessness that was that had me paralyzed, because I've
That's
never
the
not
part. Yeah.
I've never not been hopeful,
Mhm.
so yeah, so I just like I really appreciate your patience,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate the fact that you even let me talk about it,
Mhm.
because you really I there's a lot of people who are mad at me because I just be on some silent shit, and I get
No.
it. I definitely
No.
understand that because it's
Yeah.
not fair for me um to take up so much space, as though it's not fair to me to wither away in isolation, both self-inflicted and uh i- in opposition. Like, I shouldn't be doing that to you. I shouldn't be isolating, making your life isolated, or putting you on hold because
Yeah.
I'm on hold. That's not
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
That's not how life or society works.
No,
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
I didn't feel I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way. I had a fe I also didn't know exactly what was happening, but had a feeling that, just needed some time away, and if I would have put 2 and 2 together with my dumbass brain that August 3rd happened, I'd have been like, "Oh, okay," but I'm
yeah,
kinda glad I didn't because I might have been that might have been too easy to it's like, "Oh, Imma just give Bossy the space," you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
but I was texting and I'm glad we had this
yeah.
conversation.
It would have been
I'm
too
glad.
easy for me too to put it on my birthday, for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, for
that's
sure.
a good way of shaping that, actually. Yeah.
Well, listeners, thanks for, going on this journey with us. We're gonna be back. We're gonna continue to fine-tune this thing, and I think this is a microcosm of what all of us are going through on some level. We're
Mhm.
all trying to figure shit out. We're all trying to realign. We're all trying to redefine like what it means to be Mike at this age, Bossy at this age.
And it's different. There's no blueprint for this. I
It's
get so
not.
frustrated with the
Yeah.
conversations about Gen Z and millennials, when Gen X, we're the ones who are really in this point where our models of what it is to age, it just does not fit.
Yeah.
It
They
doesn't work. It
they
does
don't
not
exist.
work anymore. So much is different.
Mhm,
Um, Yet we are here,
mm.
you know? I was watching something, I saw clips of something where it's like so and so was 40 blank years old. I was like, they were only 40? I
Right.
thought they were like in their 60s or
Yeah,
70s, because
yeah.
that's the model we had back then. We don't have
Oh,
that now.
see, we were just watching the Jeffersons last night.
Nigga.
Do you know George Jefferson was like 45?
Yeah. Yeah.
They were literally in their
Mhm,
late 40s, early 50s.
mhm.
Whole ass bald head, Sherman Hemsley and, Wheezy.
She was older. She was older. Like, but Sherman Helmsley was like 12 and a half years old. A lot of these niggas, did you watch what's that show? Shit, Danny Tanner and
Yeah,
Olsen's.
I'm about to say Saved by the
Not
Bell.
Saved by
No,
the Bell.
Full
Full
House.
House. Do
Yeah.
you know that on the pilot of Full House was Danny Tanner's 30th birthday?
Yo,
30.
that's bananas.
He was in his 30s during the one
That
of that show.
that is so crazy. That is yeah,
The
they're
Golden Girls were in their 50s.
50s, early 50s too, not even late 50s, like 53.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
we don't have good examples of,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
what we're supposed to do right now. We've got to, like, we have to reparent ourselves and
yeah,
repuberty ourselves in order to figure this shit out, and it's not
yes.
easy. And again, we talk about her all the time, but Kendra's out here, like,
Kendra's doing it,
an
yeah.
example.
She definitely
Have
has,
you
I
seen
mean
her latest fitness shit?
yeah, I saw that,
Ridiculous.
off the rip, she just came up on my timeline, right?
She's
She used
not
to
a
be in
real
my
person.
timeline all the time,
Mhm.
and then, I kinda forgot about her, and then she came back, I was like, "Oh, shit, what the hell?" She looks great. She
She
looks
looks
really good.
fantastic.
Looks
She's
really
a
good, but I think
fantastic.
it's but that type of shit, there's an intentionality to that,
Mhm.
right? You can't just at our age, that's one thing that we can't do. Well, me, you're always skinny. But at our age, I can't just like will myself into being healthy. Like I have to do shit and I have to do shit so much harder. I have to burn 1,400 calories a day so that I don't gain 10 pounds a week. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like that is essentially what we have to do with our creativity, with our like what we're doing. Like we have to work a lot harder until it's not as hard
Mhm.
anymore, right? Like I'm sure Kendra and all the people that have gone through these transformations in their 50s have to work really, really hard to get to where they want, and then they can kind of maintain and go back to the normal flow of just living life. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I think
yeah.
that realignment is a little bit of what we have to do too.
That's actually really astute because I was just I'm not allowing myself to age.
Mm,
That's you just put that in my head. I'm not allowing myself to age.
right.
Wow,
No,
okay,
we don't have
okay.
no, 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 no. And
Wait,
what is
did we end the show? Are we still on the show?
that's it. Thank you for watching. But no, I think yeah, I think we gotta work really, really hard at it, and then we get to a point where we can, no, not coast, but where it's not as hard or the work doesn't feel as laborious.
Yeah, there we have to discover the new things to be really good at.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
Yes,
that's
yes,
that's where
yes.
it is.
And we're gonna
Okay.
do it. We're gonna do it, Bossy. We're gonna do it. We're gonna
Yeah.
hold each other accountable. We are. We are. All right, y'all. Let's see if I can remember this. Please follow us on all the things. Find the chaos and the culture, the clarity and something. I don't remember, but thank you for
Thank you for
sticking with
rocking with
us.
us.
Absolutely. And we'll holler at y'all next week or whenever we say. All right. All right. Peace.
Bye.